Hey, y'all. Welcome to podcast episode 127. This is Tonetta, the social worker coach. And I wanted to make sure that I brought this episode to you all so that I can, of course, talk to you all about these things that's been on my mind and that I've been through with my clients and or personally this week. Like I said, to, of course, help somebody out there who's probably going through the similar things or who needs some light shed on some of these issues. The first is going to be I'm going to be talking about how prices are going so high, but our paychecks ain't going up at all. I'll put it that way, no matter what your paycheck is. The second one, lack of parents who can't seem to get help from schools or community resources to help with their unruly teens. And number three, what to do when you're a caregiver and your loved one gives up. What can you do? So, like I said, I definitely want to bring this to you. And like I said, this is kind of different from my other videos that I post on here. I guess I'll put it that way, because this is actually my first, I believe, podcast episode on this platform. So like I said, I definitely want to welcome y'all to this particular episode. Like I said, again, it's episode 127. And thank you, Kimberly, for tuning in. Hope that you're doing well. And like I said, this is episode 127. So let's go ahead and get into this, y'all. So me and my partner were talking yesterday. Actually, we talk a lot about a lot of different things, but yesterday we were having this conversation about how, of course, the food, the gas, the bills, the apartments, the houses, the rents, everything is just skyrocketed. And yes, people claim because of COVID, which I'm sure that is all not because of COVID, but that's what people claim. I put it that way. And that's what businesses are claiming, that kind of thing as well, which I understand. Of course, some prices for some of those things did go up during that time because of the manufacturing costs. Some of that stuff was cut because folks were out sick or died or that kind of thing. So some of the products weren't being made. We all understand that. I know that. I'm sure you know that too. But it still makes no sense nowadays. The prices are still just skyrocketing. And we don't, of course, for those who work or those who have Social Security or for those who even have a business that's doing a certain income every month, your income has not went up. But they still expect you to pay $500 more for your rent or your mortgage, or $2 or $3 more for the gas that you're getting, and those for your car and those types of things. Like I said, it just mind boggles me, and I'm just like, okay, what is the deal? What is going on? Because I know the prices for these things pre-COVID was not these prices. Well, for some of it wasn't, but take that back. For a lot of it actually wasn't these prices. Like I said, when I saw things go up, when he saw things go up as well, it was during COVID. Of course, we all, I'm pretty sure, saw that. People were price gouging stuff when it came to houses, selling houses, when it came to the rents, when it came to buying just the necessities that you need, like tissue and paper towels and soap or whatever it was, gloves for your hands, hand sanitizer, all that stuff went up during that time. We understand that, but COVID is now, to me, over. So why are the prices still so high? Like I said, I haven't researched all this to figure out why, that kind of thing. But in my mind, it's just because they want it that high. Because we're the ones who are paying for it, and we haven't stepped up and said anything about it. And like I said, this is a conversation that me and my partner were having yesterday, because like I said, for us, yes, we're able to manage and that kind of thing, but I know there's families. I'm a social worker and a life coach as well, and he works in the helping field as well as a behavioral health tech. And we see clients all the time. Parents, we see grandparents, we see the seniors, we see the youth. We know what's going on out here in these streets, I guess I put it that way. And we see folks are struggling. We talk to our neighbors. I talk to everybody. So talking to neighbors and that kind of thing, just hearing about their stories and how they can't afford the rents and how the rents have went up $200-$300 in the last year and all this kind of stuff. And like I said, this is just getting ridiculous, y'all. We have to be the ones to step up and say something about, at least the way I see it, step up and say something about these prices being too high and stop buying the things, some of the things anyway. Especially if you're going to help it. Like I said, usually when you're impacting pockets and you're trying to, of course, make a change, it all starts with the money, y'all. I know some people don't want to hear that, oh, how am I going to live without so-and-so? How am I going to do without so-and-so? We didn't have a lot of these things back in the day to, of course, live off of, and we did just fine. I'm pretty sure of that. But like I said, we have to get smart about these prices. Like I said, their prices are still going up. I'm sure once our lease renews, we actually have an apartment down here in Arizona that's almost $1,400 a month for a 2-bedroom. Yes, that may be cheaper than other places. I'm sure California, New York, I'm pretty sure is higher, but this does not have to be, y'all. They're higher because you allow them to raise those prices on you like that. I put it that way. If enough of you all stand up and start speaking out and start putting them on the front street, like I said, some prices I'm pretty sure will definitely drop. Coming from St. Louis, of course, this is higher than St. Louis, and I'm sure other areas as well. But like I said, we have to stand up for something, y'all. If not, these prices are going to skyrocket while you're not getting paid anymore. There's people out here, I work with them all the time, our seniors, our elder population. They on Social Security, and some of them may get a pension. It's not that much. It's not equal to a paycheck that you work for a job every month, because you don't even get half of that when you're on Social Security. They're barely getting $1,000 or $1,200 a month. That's not even enough to cover rent in most states now. Like I said, I see this all the time. I'm working in an organization where we provide services to seniors and that kind of thing. I facilitate the caregiver support groups and speak to my clients all the time about stuff like this. Then when you try to, of course, assist and try to find some resources, nobody has any funds all of a sudden. I put it that way. So what are these folks supposed to do? Just be homeless? Which some of them have, actually. It's not just our senior population. It's people of my age. I'm in my 40s. There's people in their 30s, 20s. I'm sure Kimberly can attest to that as well, that's going through a hard time because everything is so high. Eggs are $5. I think the other day was $5.87 or something like that for a pack of 18 eggs. Well, dozen and a half, whatever you want to call it, 18 eggs in the store. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen how the prices of the food in general has went up. I see folks all the time growing their food and doing this kind of thing. I have dirt at home. I have seeds. I have pots. I need me a little shelf table to start have my little garden as well on my little patio, just to save some income too. But I want to make sure that the food I'm eating is healthy for me too. But like I said, I know with all these things, like I said, this just doesn't make any sense, y'all. And like I said, our payment has not went up. Yes, if you have a business, that kind of thing, you can, of course, increase your income that way. And that's what I was going to talk about too, because I know you may have seen in the description. Yes, I'm a social worker and a life coach, but I also have a small part-time business at home that I do work and run. It's called Cookies and Ish. I've been baking for years. So, I mean, that's not, for some of y'all, it ain't gonna be nothing new, but some of y'all who don't know me that way, it will be something new for you. I've always had a side business of some sort. Right now it is a cookie business, which I'm selling, of course, in Ish, other stuff, cakes and all that kind of stuff too. But, but like I said, I know the power of having a small business at home. This can supplement some of those funds and some of those things that you need to pay for your rents and your car gas and the food and those types of things as well. I don't care what age you are, unless you don't have sound mind or sound body to, of course, get up and to move and to use your fingers or that kind of thing, you can create some type of business. Because I can't I can put it all on the people the real estate people and the grocery stores. Yes, I can put everything on them. But, of course, it comes back to us too being smart about what we're doing. If, of course, my paycheck ain't going up because the eggs went up. That will never happen. Social Security has not went up because the rent went up. That will never happen. You may get a small increment, maybe like $1 a year raise, I'm sure. But in order for us to supplement our income, it has to be part of us as well. I know you all may hear people talking about having a small part-time business and doing this and doing that. And you don't have to do all these high-tech things unless that's what you do. Take the skills that you have to create something out of it, even if it's sewing blankets. I know a woman right now, when she was back in my hometown, St. Louis, she was making crochet dolls. This lady has been all over the TV, on Ellen, on all kind of shows now. There's no making basketball players, dolls, and all this kind of stuff going on. She's probably about my age, or maybe a little bit older, I'm not sure. But she's used her skills to get what she needs and to create additional income for herself and her family. Like I said, that's something that we all can do. Like I said, again, if you're able to do so, if you know how to use the computer or know how to, or you can see still, or even if you can't see, you can start a podcast. This is the podcast episode. But you, of course, will have to have somebody set it up for you. But like I said, I'm not going to give all these excuses and that kind of thing. Yes, it's on these people, too, for raising our prices. But we have to be smart about what we're doing, too. Especially for those who are able-bodied and able to get things done, able to do things. We have to be smarter, too. And like I said, there's no reason why we can't, y'all. Like I said, all these high prices for all this stuff, yes, it is definitely on them. And yes, we can definitely, I'm pretty sure, start speaking out about these things and start letting them know that we know that they're price gouging and doing all these things. This stuff wasn't this high before, not even before COVID. Eggs were what, 98 cents a dozen, I guess. Well, almost like 98 cents or dollar, or less than $2 a dozen. Now they're double and triple that price. Like I said, there is no reason why we cannot, like I said, speak out and speak up about these things. But still in all, we're the ones who are, of course, who are able-bodied, able to do so, to create a small business for ourselves at home. We can do that. You don't have to go out and buy a restaurant today and all this kind of stuff at all. You can use your skills that you got and create what you have at home. Even if it's a podcast, even if it's a YouTube channel, I don't know, whatever it is, whatever skills you have. Even as a social worker like me or whoever, making music, anything like that, making dolls, making blankets, I don't know, making shoes, whatever it is you know how to do. Me baking, I bake too. Like I said, that's the business that I have that creates extra income at this time for our household as well. Like I said, that's something that we have to not just take advantage of, but of course, like I said, definitely get on our bandwagon and do what we need to do as well. So you can start affording these things. I can't tell you how many times that I've seen people being evicted, people becoming homeless, sleeping in their car, because I see it all the time around here. I'm sure y'all probably see it in y'all cities too. I have no idea what happened in all those situations, but if it's getting that bad and you cannot even afford the things that you need, you have to create another stream of income for yourself. Since the prices aren't going down tomorrow, I guess I put it that way, because they're not going down for anybody tomorrow. The only thing I see with this is that it's going to keep going up and up and up unless we stand up and say something about it. Not just me as one person, but a lot of us, I guess I put it that way. So like I said, that's my part one, because I can keep going all day about this, but that's my number one. Number two, parents. Okay, of course. Well, let me preface this. Me and my partner stay together. He has a daughter, 16 years old. She's going through some struggles and that kind of thing. We're having struggles with her. I guess I put it that way as well. But we're trying to reach out for support. I'm a social worker, so of course I know the programs is out. Well, not in this city per se, because I'm from St. Louis. I knew that landscape better than I know this landscape. But I know back in St. Louis, there are resources and services for our young teens and that kind of thing. And it just seems like here there is no support. I'm in Tucson. It's like, where's all the support from the school district? Where's all the support from the juvenile court? And what we're coming up against, because we're, of course, having some issues with her and that kind of thing, is that if she doesn't commit a crime, there's nothing they can really do. Running away isn't a crime and all these kind of things. And I know because I talk to parents, I used to work with a lot of single moms and that kind of thing, and of course with teens and foster care department and that kind of thing as well. It just seems like, what is going on? Like I said, there should be some type of support that we can receive. Like I said, I know St. Louis had some, but here in this particular area, for some reason, there is not a lot of services and resources for our teens. The only thing you see, of course, are the only options you have if somebody's running away or somebody's being unruly or that kind of thing, is either to deal with it and keep going through the same cycle 100 times over and over again, or to, of course, let them do whatever they're going to do until they feel like they can get themselves together. And like I said, that makes no sense. Of course, going to the school district, trying to get help and that kind of thing. They're telling me in front of the child that we can call the police and all this kind of thing, but they normally don't show up. They ain't gonna do nothing no way. I'm like, are you fucking serious? You just said this in front of her so she can, I mean, come on now, really? What kind of school district is that? I guess I put it that way. Or principal, because there was a principal and the assistant principal, I believe. I'm just like, this happened months ago. But I'm just like, I almost went off on them actually, because I'm like, okay, as a social worker, you never say stuff like that in front of your clients, especially when they're acting out and things are going on, because they're going to use that against all the adults in their life. I guess I put it that way, that y'all can't do nothing to them. And I'm just like, okay, what is the deal? Then when it comes to the juvenile court, you reach out to them, that kind of thing. If they haven't committed a crime, there's nothing they can really do. So I'm like, okay, what do you do with your kid? Like I said, this is a lot of, it's not just us, but it's a lot of, and I'm sure this ain't just happening in Arizona. This is happening all across the U.S. and all across the world. I'm pretty sure that. But it just seems like there's not a lot of help for these teens out here. Yes, there may be a few teen programs and that kind of thing, but me working this, I've been actually it's May. I forgot it is May. So this year I will be a social worker. I would have been, I guess I put it that way, working in the field as a social worker for 25 years, later on this month, actually. And I can't tell you how many programs I've placed kids at back in the day. Right now, I work with the older population. But back when I was working with the foster care system, the juvenile courts, and the transitional housing program for single moms and teen moms and stuff like that, I cannot tell you, yes, there's some programs out there, but a lot of the programs don't seem to address the things that these kids need. Yes, you can provide therapy. Yes, you can provide them housing and that kind of thing. But I'm talking about programs that will help these teens figure out, us adults now know, since we have online and internet and all this kind of stuff going on, we know, or at least a lot of us know, that we have personal development. And you can self-improve and all these types of things. Our teens may not, I'm pretty sure a lot of them don't know that. They're working off whatever they see their other friends doing that they can do too, and they should be able to do as well, and entitlement. We need, like I said, my partner and I were talking, like I said, this was last week. What day was that? I'm sorry, that was this week. Lord, that was this week. I'm talking about last week. Today's Friday, so that was this week. We were at dinner actually talking about this, possibly creating a program for some teens, I heard. And it's not more of, yes, housing is important. Yes, they have housing programs. A lot of them do have. From me working in the field back in the day, I don't know how everything runs now because I haven't worked in that field with the teens in a few years now. But I know that there's a lot of criteria that they have to fit in order to go into those programs, when we know damn well that our teens are struggling with depression issues. Some of them have suicidal issues. Some have low self-esteem issues, all this type of stuff going on. The lack of education, all these types of things. There's abuse that happens as well in the teenage world, I guess I put it that way. I used to see it all the time. Mothers or the single ladies we had, some of them were getting jumped on, all kind of stuff going on. I see all kind of stuff happening. I have seen all kind of stuff happening. But what I'm talking about as far as the resources and services, something, I facilitate support groups here. Maybe that's what's needed. I don't really know the whole scope of everything, because I know there's a lot of things to, of course, address. But we got to start working, like I said, with our young folks, even if you don't have any kids. With the young people that you see, if you're a teacher, if you're a social worker like me, or if you live in a community where there's teens or that kind of thing, just reach out to them and just speak how you doing, have a good day. Just be nice to the people. I guess I put it that way. Not just them, but everybody. But I mean, like I said, just let them know that you see them. A lot of them do not feel like they're being seen or heard. I can tell you that from working with our teen at home. And it should never get to that point. We should be able to, of course, like I said, to have these communications with our youth and those kind of things, and not feel like we have to be the dominant one or that kind of thing. We're all on some level all equal. I guess I put it that way. Even though we may have years of experience and wisdom than they do. Yes, I know that's for all adults. But we have to figure out a way, like I said, to help these young people. Otherwise, it's going to be the same cycle: drug usage, alcohol usage, homelessness. That's what I see here. And I'm sure you all see that in other countries, other places, other states. It's not just here in Arizona at all. It's everywhere. You can go online, go anywhere online. I'm sure you can see some of that stuff going on too. And like I said, it just seems like there's a lack of support for these parents out here, y'all. We've been through it the last several months. And there's not a lot of programs, like I said, to assist with the things that they need. I'm not saying that therapy is not important, because all programs, I think, they used to offer therapy as part of their program. And I'm not putting therapy down or anything like that at all. But these kids need a lot more than therapy. Anybody can just fuck over a therapist. Tell them anything you want to hear just to get out of the office. I've seen it happen many a times. We need some programs, like I said, that will get deep down into what's going on. Maybe support group would work. I don't know. I can set that up very easily. But like I said, we need to get down to the root of what's going on and meet these kids where they are. A lot of the programs that I've seen and that I've worked with do not meet the kids usually where they are. They're working with them and that kind of thing, but it's just like, what in the world you have? Like I said, there's so much back in the day. I don't know what like I said, the last few years I've been out of that loop. But when I used to work with the youth back in St. Louis, it was all types of criteria and all types of things that most of these kids didn't even fit. I had to talk myself into getting these people into these programs. I would talk myself and talk them into getting these kids into these programs. The independent living programs, like I said, where you can't have any behaviors. You can't have everybody's going to have a behavior at some point. I'm pretty sure about that. We all, as adults, have damn behaviors every day. I'm pretty sure. Get negative, get attitude, want to holler and yell at somebody. That happens to all of us. It's not going to not happen to these kids. They have no idea how to control that yet. or at least a lot of them don't at all, if any of them do. Us adults barely know how. Yes, that's something we have to work at every single day, but how do we expect these teens to not have any kind of issues going on before they go into an independent living program? Like I said, these kind of things are, at least to me, like I said, it's just a craziness. Parents are trying to seek help and trying to get help and that kind of thing, but they come up against a brick wall just like we did. And it makes no sense. And like I said, that's something that, like I said, this has been some, like I said, I had to bring this episode because, like I said, there are some things I heard that I see all the time, but it just seems like there's not, I guess there's never going to probably be enough resources for everybody. I put it that way, unless folks start living their goals and living their dreams and build and tapping into their own imagination to, of course, create programs that can help others, not just the school-based programs. I'm not even talking about that. More of the social programs, just like Aubrey saying. Thank you for tuning in, Aubrey. But like I said, we have to start doing something different, y'all, especially when it comes to our parents and our teens. We need some other stuff that these parents can, of course, take advantage of that will help them in dealing with their teens. I can't tell you how many times I was at the office back in St. Louis and I actually witnessed one child beating the shit out of a parent, actually, in the middle of our lobby when we had to call the police. Because we can't, of course, grab them and do all that kind of stuff. But, of course, she was beating her mother up in front of us. I'm just like, what is going on? And that's not the first time I've ever seen something like that. I've seen it many a times. Fuck you, bitch, you crazy, all this kind of stuff. Kids cursing out the parent. I have seen that many and many times. I'm pretty sure that still happens. I know it ain't stopped. There are parents out here that are scared of their kids because their kids have these behaviors that they don't want to tolerate at home, but they have no idea what else to do besides making a hotline on themselves or dropping their ass off at the court. Tell them you don't want them no more, send them to foster care. That's still going to create the same kind of situation. I worked in the foster care system almost 8 years. All that creates is the same cycle. That kid ain't getting no help but just pacified until they are released from custody. That's what I've always seen. And that's why I fought so hard for these kids back when I was working with them back in the day. Like I said, y'all, we have got to do better, y'all. Like I said, this is not just for us as the parents either, but it's for everybody, every parent that's out there listening. We know these kids have issues. And we have issues as well. We can come together on those issues and try to work through things. So let me go ahead and move on to my next one, y'all. Because like I said, I do have to get back to work soon. The last thing, I think I told y'all I work with I actually facilitate caregiving support groups here in Arizona, meaning that I'm working with caregivers who are taking care of their loved ones who are going through. A lot of them have issues with memory loss, like dementia, Alzheimer's, frontal temporal lobe disorders and things like that, or they may have had a stroke and those kind of things, like I said, or other health issues and all those things combined. Like I said, I work with them all the time, every single day. And like I said, I facilitate the caregiving support groups. They have caregivers who come around in a circle. We all talk about, of course, their frustrations, their stress, all that type of thing. And, of course, their need for support and what they need in order to carry on for the next day and for the next time we all meet up again. And I know this is it's not a difficult subject for me because I deal with it all the time, every single day. But we have a lot of people out here who are caregiving for their loved ones, and their loved ones have given up on life. They're sick and tired of being in the same situation. People know it's through some people, of course, with the memory loss. Some of them kind of know that they're going through some issues, having some issues there, and they're forgetting and that kind of thing, and things are just crazy and haywire, I guess, inside their head. Others may have had a stroke and they can't walk like they used to. They can't talk like they used to. They can't use their fingers like they used to. They could have been a hairdresser, can't do that anymore, that kind of thing. Depends on how bad their stroke was. And like I said, some people are giving up because they can't live the same kind of life that they had. And like I said, I talk to caregivers all the time. And like I said, this has come up a lot in the past several months, actually. And this is the first time I think I'm addressing it on video. But like I said, it's definitely a difficult thing to go through. To hear your loved one telling you to please let me die. Why did you call 911? Just leave me there on the floor. I've heard those things. Is there a pill that I can take that can kill me? I've heard those things. And like I said, it's a lot that caregivers go through. And like I said, we have to make sure when you're caregiving for somebody, you have to make sure that you're getting the self-care that you need. that whether you need therapy support or whether you need to take walks or whatever it is, journal, meditate, whatever it is, you have to get the help that you need first and foremost. And just know that when we're taking care of course, adults, whether it's your parent, your partner, older relative, a friend, whoever it is that you're caring for, just know that within the scope of the law, there's only so many things that you can do with this person. I guess not saying that you can't help them. You can, of course, help them take care of like their daily needs, all that kind of stuff. Yes, but just know that there's only a few things. Well, there's only so much you can do when a person has given up at life. You can't force them to want to stay, I guess, remain the person that they were before they had the incident or the stroke or got the dementia, wherever the case may be, where they were happy, go lucky, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, depression will definitely set in. If I walked outside and got hit by a car today and I was paraplegic, I'd be upset and depressed too. I can't walk anymore. I can't talk. Well, I guess you can talk still, but I can't move my limbs like I used to do anymore. I can't sit here on video and talk to y'all anymore. Any of them, I can't bake anymore. Any of those kind of things. That will make anybody depressed. And I'm not saying that you have to put up with hearing this every day, but I know people, in theory, you have to. Because you're the only one, the closest one to them, and they're going to be telling you these things. But just keep in mind, there's only so much that you can do for them. Yes, you can try to get them therapy. Yes, but if they refuse all these resources, there is nothing else that you can do. You can't force them to have these resources and services. Yes, you can get some resources and services for yourself, like additional caregiver to come in to help provide in-home care or some respite services so you can take a break. Your own therapy, like I said, your own self-care, those are the only things that you can really control. Unless the person has been deemed incapacitated by the court or by the doctor, and then you can make all the decisions in their life for them. But until that time, there's only so much that you can do. Yes, it's depressing to hear somebody saying, I don't want to live anymore. I'm pretty sure it is. I've heard that many a times. And I've been with people personally who said that same thing to me as well. But like I said, yes, it's going to make you sad. Yes, it's going to make you cry, I'm pretty sure. And yes, it's going to probably hurt your feelings deep down because you're doing all that you can do for this person and you don't feel that they're appreciating it. I guess I put it that way. All the help that you're providing, and you don't see why they don't want to be here. They can still breathe. Like I said, there's only so much that you can do, I guess, for a person. It is definitely very sad. But like I said, there's resources and services out here that can, of course, help you. I work for an area agency on aging. Every state, and I believe a lot of major cities have this same program for the senior population as well. Now, granted, every place is not going to offer the same kind of services that we have here in Arizona. I know that because St. Louis definitely does not. Where I'm from, they definitely do not have these services at all. They had Meals on Wheels, like that was really it. You can call on your resources, but they didn't have support groups or anything like that. But there are some places that do have a lot of resources and groups and different things that you can take care of yourself with. But just know that you cannot force somebody to be happy. You cannot force somebody to love life again, especially after they feel that they have nothing left. That all their heart and soul and their hard work and everything that they've been doing is taken away from them. And like I said, it just depends on the person. Some folks are going to accept some help. Some folks are not. Especially if they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, they probably won't. It's definitely unfortunate, but just know that like I said, there are resources out there, not just the area agencies on aging. But if I know I probably can say this on video because I'm not technically at work and that kind of thing, but because this is my own platform. But there are states. There's only like 3 or 4. Let me see, Washington, Oregon. There's a few states in the U.S. where a person can go and be euthanized, I guess I put it that way, in a certain sense. Like I said, I know folks may not want to hear that, and of course they shouldn't do that, this kind of thing. But if that's what the person wants and that's what they want to go do, let them go do that on their own. I wouldn't say you hold their hand and do it unless you want to. That's up to you. But there are different medical providers, medical doctors who will do things like that. And it's legal in those states, I guess I put it that way. But like I said, that's something that you all I'm not going to look into it for you. You have to look into that. But like I said, there are some things out there that you can do. And not just that, but there's hospice programs as well. Hospice is, at least to me, similar. They don't provide any kind of treatment for the person anymore. All they focus on is comfort care. And that means whether it's But my mother, she was in hospice, so of course there was morphine, making sure she was comfortable, making sure she had the products and the service, like all the the shakes until she couldn't drink anymore, that kind of thing, or the Depends, and making sure she had all the stuff, the hospital bed, everything that she needed. But hospice works in the same way as those doctors I was just talking about, who will give your loved one a pill or something to end their life, or however they do it. Hospice is kind of more prolonged program, but still, or is looked at as more of a 6 months or less to live, but it's still not an instant death or that kind of thing at all. It's just resources and services to keep your loved one comfortable until they get to their end of life, until they actually pass away and expire. They're not doing any kind of treatments. Like I said, that can be another option, especially if the person is not wanting to do anything, take any medicine, do anything else. That's, like I said, that's what hospice does. Like I said, those are some resources. If you know a caregiver or you're working with caregivers or that kind of thing, like I said, those are some resources they can look into. If you're able to help them with them resources, definitely provide it to them. But if you're a caregiver that's on her listing, like I said, these are things that you can think about. I'm not telling you to do any of these things at all. But these are just resources and information that I know that's out there that can, of course, possibly help your situation. If that's what you're looking into and if that's what you and your loved one wants to do. I guess I put it that way. But like I said, you cannot force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. Yes, people are going to give up all the time, especially if they're in a situation where they cannot do the things that they used to do. Like I said, I've known many who've had strokes, who've had all types of stuff. And yes, they don't want to be here anymore. I know one right now that says the same thing to her caregiver every single day. And this is a personal situation. And like I said, there's nothing that you can do. If you want to oblige and go ahead and find the doctors to, of course, take care of the situation. If that's what they want, then go ahead and you can help them do that. If not, you can always get hospice. It's a similar kind of program. I guess I put it that way. No more treatments, some medications possibly still, but they're only a comfort care program until the person actually passes away. It can be in a day, it can be in months, it can be in 6 months. Some folks live past that 6 months, but still, that's what that program is designed for. To give them comfort until they actually pass away. And like I said, those are the only things, that's the only things that you can do if you want to help them in that situation. There's all that you can do. Otherwise, if you're trying to offer therapy and all this kind of other support, they're probably not going to want that. As I've heard, what can a therapist do for me? I can't do nothing for myself right now. I heard that all the time. What is this medication going to do for me? It's not helping me do anything at all. Why should I go to a doctor? This doctor is not helping me at all either. But just want to get a checkup and see how I'm doing. Who cares? I've heard that recently. All these statements, actually. But like I said, that's something you have to think about. Like I said, those are the only things that you can possibly find resources for to help this person. Otherwise, you're going to listen to the same thing until the person does finally pass away. I guess I put it that way. And yes, it's going to affect you. So you may want to consider some therapy, some counseling, something, a support group or something to help you deal with these emotions. Because death is scary for all of us. Even me. I mean, I'm like, okay, I got to make sure I got everything in order. I got to make sure I don't have any regrets, all this kind of stuff. I don't want to die with any regrets at all. Or anything that I haven't accomplished that I said I was going to accomplish. It's not the death for me. It's just my accomplishments and the regrets and all those types of things. But some folks, it actually is the actual death. How am I going to take my last breath? Or when am I going to know? Nobody knows that. Unless you have seen the dying person, I put it that way. I've seen many, so I mean, I know how that looks. And I know what goes on, I guess, in that process. I guess I put it that way as well. But no one's going to know that. But like I said, death is one of those taboo things that folks don't want to talk about. And like I said, about me being a social worker now, 25 years in the field, a certified life coach as well, I'm going to start talking about these things because I know there's folks out there who need to hear this. It's not just me. It's not just my office and that kind of thing. It's all of us. Because everybody's going to face death at some point, whether it's quick or whether it's not. And majority of the folks, probably including me, I have no idea, are going to need somebody to take care of us when we get older. Even if it's family, friends, neighbor, or some type of hired caregiver, that's going to happen to us all. So we better start knowing and try to figure out what these resources are before it's too late for us. I can't tell you how many times I've seen seniors die in their house because nobody was there to, of course, help them at all. They didn't know what resources, they didn't know who to call. A lot of it was pride as well. But I can't tell you how many times that happens, y'all. And yes, some of y'all may have heard of stuff like that as well. But I work with that all the time. I see it every day almost. It's definitely sad, but like I said, we have to make sure that we're educating ourselves, not just about the end of life, but about, like I said, the supports with these parents out in the community. And then, of course, about just educating ourselves about a part-time business at home as well when it comes to increasing our income inside of our household. Those are all the things I talked about today on this episode. Like I said, we have to get smarter about those things and know what's out there and know what resources we can depend on and know what we can take advantage of and all those types of things. We have to know that. The resources and services, yeah, they can advertise all they want, but we're not most times actively online looking for these things. We have to search them out too, if that's what we need. So y'all, like I said, I'm going to get my butt off here as I know I got to get back to work soon. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, this is my first time doing my first podcast episode over on this platform. So this is episode number 127. So like I said, definitely, and I'll put the link in the description that you can actually check out my actual podcast, The Social Worker Coach. It's based over on Spotify, but of course it's on Apple Podcasts. It's all over the place too. So like I said, wherever you listen to your podcast episodes, you can always check them out on those platforms. So like I said, with that, y'all, I just hope y'all enjoyed this episode today. More just me, like I said, just talking about a few things that I, of course, realized and recognized and understood that folks needed some information on this week. I guess I put it that way. So like I said, I definitely want to share it with y'all. I'll see y'all again for another episode, y'all. Thank you all for tuning in. Kimberly, Aubrey, there was someone else on here as well. Sam, I think it said. Avedon, I don't know if you're still on here. I hope you're doing well. Janelle, my thing keeps going crazy. But Janelle, thank you all for tuning in. So, and for those who catch the replay, like I said, definitely enjoy. I can't say enjoy, but I hope that you really listen to figure out how these things apply to your life and try to figure out a way to get out of this situation that you may be in. So with that, y'all, like I said, take care, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next episode. Have a good one.